You know how many men dim their light to the point where, you know, you just had that spark. Like, you used to be the guy that just had a personality about them, and all of a sudden you kind of just feel dull on a daily basis. And then you don't really get to show the world your authentic personality, and you just become a shell of a man. Every single human being that I have met that has traits of wanting to become successful, has a bit of a fruity background, has all had that stage. I was talking to a client this week, and he's doing about 300k a month in construction. But he hit a stage for 18 months where his life was just completely miserable. And he then had the personality trait where he just felt down all of the time. And then when he said it to me, it's just like, I just don't know how to be happy. And I'm like, because you wasn't meant to be happy in that 18 months. When we go through struggle, it's almost impossible to feel a sense of joy and happiness, because I believe that we become to a standstill in life when our soul is just screaming for change. Now, he wanted to make a certain amount of money, and what happened is basically he hit a wall and he lost everything in that 18 months. But he had to lose everything in that 18 months to have a certain set of wisdom, a bit of knowledge, financial literacy. There was so much that he didn't know that he needed to understand in order to be able to then make 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million pound a year. Now, it's like, say you want to be a doctor. You can't just be a doctor. You have to go to university and go and study and do years and years and years of learning in order to be able to become that. Like me with a coach. How could I coach men with a bad mindset, or they're struggling, or their finances, or whatever it is they're going through, or their fitness, if I haven't spent years learning and understanding? But we think that life's happening against us. But once we pray for something, once we put that out there into the universe, everything starts to move around. Everything starts to fall apart and fall away, and things start crashing. But that's because I truly believe that it's a removal process. Everything that doesn't belong in your life going to that next stage is just simply being removed. And you're learning certain things that you needed to learn in order to be able to go to that next level. If you look at all of the most successful people in business, they all have the same things that happen. They basically lose all of their money, they go near bankruptcy, they go through a breakup. There was so much trauma that happened in a space of time, in a period of their life, that they then started to just question everything. And it's completely normal, but it happened to me. And the most beautiful thing is like, when you get your spark back and when you get that energy back, you've grown so much more wisdom with it. You've grown so much more knowledge through it. You've grown so much stress ability to be able to handle a certain amount of stress without it crumbling you, without turning into negative vices. So if you're currently going through a tough time at the moment, ask yourself this question. Have you actually asked? Have you prayed for a better life? Have you prayed for that next level? Because if that is the case, then God's just playing chess, just moving bits around in order for you to be able to get to the king, to be able to get to that next stage. And we always, in the moment, it's impossible to feel like things are happening for us and this is a positive. But then when you can look at just seeing every single situation in your life as just normal, like there's no good, there's no bad, there's just normal, that's going to keep you in a much more grateful and better headspace. Because the only thing is bad is the perspective. The only thing that we can see as bad is the perspective that we are currently giving to that situation. Yes, when you go through heartbreak. Yes, when you lose finances. Yes, when business starts to muck up. You automatically think, oh my God, why me? Why is this happening? And you go into this victim mindset. But what we really want to understand and what we really want to implement on a daily basis is we can change that outcome. If we have so much certainty and conviction that this has to happen in order for me to be able to go to that next level, you are then staying in that abundant mindset. You are then staying in that grateful mindset. And then I promise you, you will see your outcome come a hell of a lot quicker, rather than sitting there and dwelling in and asking, why is everything falling apart? Because when you have certainty and conviction in a situation, I promise you, you are putting that out there, that is then going to lead to that outcome. Have you ever had it where you think, you see a person or you see a text or you're like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to see that person. I knew. That's because you had so much certainty and conviction behind that. So if you have so much certainty and conviction behind the tough time you're currently going through at the moment, that will actually manifest and unfold into the positive that you actually want to be able to bring into your life. Yes, in that moment it's hard, but as I said before, have a perception. You have one, you have two, have the third one. See everything as normal and everything as good. Don't just see it as negative and don't just see it as a positive. See this as normal. Yes, it's normal for things to fall apart because that means then I'm going to that next stage. There's 8 billion people in this world. There's 8 billion different perceptions. Wake up and choose what goes on in your world. I done this with myself, went through a terrible time, but I was like, no matter how dark it was, no matter how bad it was, I just had so much certainty. This has to happen in order for me to be able to go to that next level. This has to happen for me to be able to be X, Y, and Z. So if you're currently going through a tough time at the moment, see it as this is just the invoice that needs to be paid in order for me to be able to go to that next level. Sending you love, sending you light. Big love, Melia Movement, baby.